Shalom and welcome to the weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Hebrew. We're looking today at Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 23. In verse 22 last time, we saw that the Lord was calling his people to stop and think and realize whom they are dealing with. This is the God who has created the oceans and fixed their boundaries. And now we're going to see what he has to say about the people in sort of a summary statement. A short verse, should be fairly easy. Let's go ahead and read it in Hebrew. ולעם הזה חיה לבשרך ומורה סרו וילכו. So we start off with a vav, usually translated and, but in this context it's going to be a but. The Lord has made this people, he's fixed the boundaries for the sand and the oceans, but to this one. So you see the article there for hiding there, and hazeh with the article here. So the people of this one. So to this people there was, or there is in this sense, a heart. So if you may know from other work, your basic understanding that this is the Hebrew way of expressing the verb to have. So to the people there is, or there was. So this people has a heart, sorer, and you recognize this, I hope, as a cholam vav. This is going to be a participle. It's going to be a masculine singular participle, kal, from the verb sarar with two reishes, and it means to be stubborn, to be obstinate. So to this people there is a heart. What kind of a heart? A heart that's obstinate, using the adjectival force of the participle here. And it's not just obstinate, and it's also more, another participle here, this time from the verb mara. And the verb mara means also to be stubborn, to be contentious, to be rebellious. It sounds like the adjective mara, meaning bitter, but that adjective mara, bitter, that you find, for instance, in Exodus, is actually from another root with two reishes like that. So this is not the same here. This is mara, to be stubborn or contentious. So to this people, in other words, this people has a stubborn and rebellious heart. And that's halfway through the verse. And then we have saru, and here we have just a perfect. This is a perfect, and it's going to be a 3MP. People is singular, but this is a plural verb over here. Remember, people is a collective noun, so it's very frequent that we pick up the plural sense a little bit later. And a kal from our verb sur, meaning to turn aside, because I always think of a sewer that turns aside water. So they have turned aside, and now what do we have here? Yod at the beginning, u at the end. This is going to be an imperfect, but an imperfect consecutive. It's going to be a 3MP from our verb halak, very frequent verb, a little bit irregular, but very frequent. The hey disappears, so we see this this sere over here. It sort of indicates that there used to be something here. So, and of course this means to walk. So literally, they have turned aside and they have walked. Now, in this sense, walked, well, sometimes we use that expression, hey, he walked, meaning he just left this whole situation. He walked out on it. That's what we find here, and they've walked into another direction. They're certainly not following the Lord. They've gone in a new direction there. So pretty straightforward in terms of its basic accusation here. It's the stubbornness and the rebelliousness. So let's hide our work here, and let's look at a couple of translations real quickly. First of all, the Old King James, but this people hath a revolting and rebellious heart. Interesting use of revolting. We probably have a different nuance to that word today. But the original sense is revolting is something that revolts, and it's a rebellious heart. And they are revolted, turned aside, and gone. They're gone. Hey, I'm gone. That's almost a modern use of that expression. Hey, I'm gone. I'm out of here. But my people, the New Living Translation, much more of a paraphrase here, but my people have stubborn and rebellious hearts. So they picked up the plural idea going through there. They have turned away and abandoned me. They have walked, with the implication, walked away from God. It's not the technical word for abandoned. That's azav, but this certainly does pick up the sense of it. The New English Bible, much more, again, on the more periphrastic side a little bit, but this people has a rebellious and defiant heart, so that's pretty good for more over here. Rebels they have been, they have turned aside, and now they are clean gone. I thought that's an interesting way of developing this verb halak over here as well. It's, like I said, on the periphrastic side, but not too far off the mark. And if you really want to develop it all the way out, we can go to the Amplified Bible, which pulls in all the different ideas here. But these people have hearts that draw back from God, sorea, to be stubborn and rebellious, and wills that rebel against him. So it's picking all of that up from these two words here. They have revolted, saru, and quit his service and gone away into idolatry. So again, they've developed these two ideas here. Now, this is way, way, way more than a translation, obviously, as are even these two, but they're all developing the idea in the correct way. Sad commentary on what happens when people do turn away from God. Because of our hearts, we end up going in ways that are not good, and this people has done that. A call to pay attention for all of us. Jeremiah is going to continue to develop this as God speaks to his people in the following verses. So check back with us soon for our next weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Hebrew. Shalom.